Welcome to New York City, the financial capital of the world. Wall Street, the financial district. They're all here in New York City, but why? It's banking. This is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York City. There's more than $400 billion worth of gold in this building. And why does this bank exist? Because of Alexander Hamilton. Less than 1 mile away from the Federal Reserve Bank at Trinity Church, you'll find the grave of Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury of the United States and a true New Yorker. I'm gonna go take a look at Alexander Hamilton's grave. The daughter of a New York senator and lived most of his life here. Hamilton had a vision for the United States economy. He wanted the new nation to be able to borrow money at decent interest rates so that it could pay for its national defense and other emergencies. I'm in Yorktown, Virginia in March 1776. Hamilton became captain of a company of artillery, and by 1777 he was an assistant to General George Washington. His main job for General Washington was writing letters to the Continental Congress and to the states. Often these letters were asking for money to pay for the war, and Hamilton saw firsthand how hard it was to fight a war without lots of money. Alexander Hamilton used to pat the cannon in the Battle of Yorktown against the British force. On this side of the siege of Yorktown on October 14, 1781 at night, the Babylonians of Gibbet, Hamilton, and Lawrence of the 9th Infantry Division of Major General Marquis de Lafayette, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Hamilton, with unloaded muskets and fixed bayonets, the parapets and gallantly captured Redoubt Number 10, which formed the extreme left outlying defense of the British, and so hastened to surrender Yorktown in the last fighting of the troops of General George Washington. Paying for the war left northern states like Hamilton's New York deeply in debt, but agricultural states like Virginia were not in debt. I'm visiting Williamsburg, the colonial capital of Virginia. Jefferson believed that those who labor in the earth were the chosen people of God, whose breasts he has made his peculiar deposit for substantial and genuine virtue. In other words, he thought that farmers were more virtuous than anyone else. He advised, let our workshops remain in Europe. The new country could import manufactured goods from England and France. Hamilton and Jefferson had competing visions for the United States. Jefferson saw a thriving rural agricultural economy. Hamilton saw a thriving manufacturing economy where many people lived in cities. Here in Virginia, I had a chance to experience some Southern culture firsthand. I'm at Corey's Country Kitchen in Williamsburg, Virginia. Okay, so what is the name of your restaurant?
It's Corey's Country Kitchen.
And you call yourself country food, but what exactly makes it country food?
What makes it country, I would say the southernness of it, the spices, the way that they make it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good job.
This man is playing George Washington. I have some questions for him about the economy. Why don't we manufacture stuff here?
Truth is, sir, by purchasing from Britain, we get a better quality product for less money. And that's the difficulty here. Now, why does this continue? I mentioned blacksmith. Imagine you're a successful blacksmith here in the city, and you've done well for yourself, and you've started to make a good deal of profit. What do you do with that profit? Do you invest it in that business? Do you hire more journeyman blacksmiths? Do you buy another forge? No. More often than not, you buy a farm, and you go off and become a planter.
Hamilton had a plan to promote manufacturing, strengthen the national government, and pay off the state's war debt. He proposed that the national government assume the state's debts and repay them by putting a tax on imported manufactured goods. To do all that, he needed a national bank. On January 14, 1790, while trying to persuade Congress to pass a bill creating the national bank, Hamilton asked the House to consider these plain and undeniable truths that exigencies are to be expected to occur in the affairs of nations, in which there will be necessity for borrowing, that loans in times of public danger, especially from foreign war, are found an indispensable resource, even to the wealthiest of them. And that a country which, like this, is possessed of little active wealth, or in other words, little moneyed capital, the necessity for that resource must, in such emergencies, be proportionally urgent. So how did Hamilton take a stand to save the United States economy? He compromised. To get southern votes, the capital of the United States was put near Virginia in Washington, D.C. So the bank and the national assumption of state debts were passed in 1790. But there was a problem. Jefferson argued that the bank was unconstitutional and that George Washington should veto it.
Alexander was on Washington's
Hamilton and Jefferson both wrote opinions on whether the bank was necessary and proper under the Constitution. And this is where Hamilton took his stand. Jefferson argued that the bank was not necessary because the national government could function without one.
His plan would have the government assume state debts. Now place your bets as to who that benefits. The very seat of government where Hamilton sits.
Not true.
Oh, if the shoe fits, wear it. If New York's in debt, why should Virginia bear it? Our debts are paid, I'm afraid. Don't tax the South, cause we got it made in the shade.
And then Hamilton said,
If we assume the debts the union gets, a new line of credit, a financial diuretic, how do you not get it? If we're aggressive and competitive, the union gets a boost, you'd rather give it a sedative? And another thing, Mr. Age of Enlightenment, don't lecture me about the war, you didn't fight in it.
here I am standing in front of the First National Bank, so I guess you know who George Washington agreed with. So I'm doing a project on the National Bank, and I have a question. Why didn't you veto the National Bank?
Because Washington wasn't against the National Bank. He was very much in support of it.
And it turned out farmers needed the bank too. Welcome to Nebraska. I'm here at Prior Pines Farm in Lincoln, Nebraska. They grow Christmas trees here. Thomas Jefferson opposed the bank in part because he thought it would hurt farmers. Later, he uses Hamilton's bank to buy all of the Louisiana Purchase, which is kind of ironic considering Thomas Jefferson started to oppose the bank. Okay, so Uncle Keith, what was your job in agricultural business?
I've been involved in marketing my entire career, both from the standpoint of production as well as the end products.
How important are banks in agriculture?
Without banks, agriculture could not function.